Hey fans, Scott Warris. Time to talk football with head coach Eric Tresky. Week 7 of the college slate is already upon us as Wisconsin Lutheran travels to Eureka, way down there, southern portion of Illinois. Saturday, we'll get to the preview in just a second, but coach, you guys have won 2 in a row, 2-2 in the league, 34-14 last Saturday over Lakeland. It was 14-14. You guys scored the final 20, and it was a great game in terms of checking a lot of boxes in all facets.
Yeah, no, really proud with how we finished. I think it all starts with our defense. They just did a phenomenal job, especially in that second half of bottling up an explosive offense. Up until that game, I think Robbie Michael, their quarterback, was the leading total offense player in the conference. All those kinds of things, and hats off to our staff. Great plan by Coach Donovan and the crew. Hats off to our leaders, doing a really good job of being disciplined. And I think you couple the defense with what we did in the ground game, and it was a good 1-2 punch. So
well, and a good couple of weeks when you look at all those facets as well. Let's talk a little bit more about the defense. 6 takeaways. Savon Goodwin gets Defensive Player of the Week honors in the NAC for his 10 tackle performance, a couple of sacks as well. Really impressive. Speak, if you could, to what you saw off the tape of Savon.
Savon, he's been the heartbeat of our defense. We've got great leaders. We got a great team culture, but it all starts with Savon. He's incredibly hardworking. The guys know how much he cares. This very room that we're doing this interview in, it's March. The football season seems forever away, and it's Friday afternoon, and he's got 10 guys watching film with him in here. And that's just the type of player, type of leader that he is. So you're just proud of him to see his progress, and excited for him because I know how much he's poured into it. So to see it translate on game day it's fun.
We were talking, and I can't remember if it was on the air or off the air with him about his dynamic nature with lace and handwork. I mean, that's a really neat one. You talk about 1-2 punch.
Yes.
Those two guys, top 2 tacklers in this conference, and as you well know, when the Warrior program has been going well historically, they've had some really good linebackers, and
yes,
these two are really good.
Oh yeah, no, they're phenomenal. Just explosive players. I think that, one of the differences I've seen with them versus some of the other greats in the past, like they're just incredibly coachable and very team oriented. And what I mean by that is like they realize that how they fit into the bigger picture. And sometimes we've had some good linebackers even in my earlier years that made amazing plays, but sometimes at the expense of the scheme. Whereas when you have Layson and Savon, they've learned how to trust each other, and that's what's made, I think, our overall defense better. And I can't be more proud of them, of that unit, of Coach Donovan. It's been fun to see.
Yeah, I think he called it, we're like fire and ice, I think is the phrase he
Okay,
used in terms of the personalities between the two of them on the field.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that 100%.
Let's turn our attention to the offense. What has allowed Travion Green to be so effective over the last couple of weeks? Over 140 yards the last 2 games, 3 touchdowns against Lakeland. How is your offense bringing out the best in Travion right now?
So Trey, he's just such a versatile playmaker. I mean, he's played at the outside receiver position, slot, tight end, and then now you're seeing him play at the back position. And what makes Trey so good is he's so nimble in small spaces. He has really good spatial awareness. So that's kind of when you've seen him as a receiver, right? You see him find natural spaces and creases, and it's translating to what he's doing as a back as well. The goal for us has been throughout the whole year, it's been how do we get Trey as many chances to impact the game as we can. With some of the injuries at back and some of the uncertainty, he's been able to step in, and running back's been the main mode of doing that the last 2 weeks. So
he's the leading receiver in the conference, and his development is in some ways kind of indicative of the way offense and football is going, where it's not necessarily you're a wide receiver and that's it, that's all you do. You're a running back, that's it, that's all you do. There's a lot more combos of using those guys in different ways, and that's exactly what you're doing with him.
Yeah, I'd agree. On both sides of the ball, it's almost that positionless offense or positionless defense. You've got to have the ability to hurt teams in multiple ways, or you become predictable. And Trey, honestly, both Trey and Mike, both guys that are seniors for us, they've really, that's who they are. That's what's made them special in our offense. That's what's allowed us to be creative. And it's been just great to see Trey. I think all along, if you had asked him, like, hey, would you like to be in the backfield? He would have said absolutely, because he played it in high school and was a very good one. So you guys are all getting a chance to see that part of his game now.
As we get ready for Week 7, give us a little update on the lines, both offensive and defensive. I know early on in the season, the offensive line was banged up coming out of camp. Do you feel like you're getting some guys back healthy and are starting to play up to par? And then the defensive line as well. Let's talk about some of the guys inside.
Yeah, let's talk about the trenches.
Yeah.
So offensively, we had talked that there was some injuries in camp, and there was also just some inexperience. And we've seen some tremendous growth in that whole group. I think Ricky Rodriguez, our right guard, has led the way. He's a dramatically different player than he was a year ago. Really committed to coming into camp more in shape, and you're seeing his athleticism play out. He's always been physical, but now he's playing in space and just doing a phenomenal job. And really, because he's playing more confidently, he's leading more confidently too. And so young guys like Chris Orr, a phenomenal freshman right tackle for us, he's right next to Ricky, and he's able to lean on him. And Marshall Palmer, a sophomore center for us, and we've had a couple guys step up at the guard position. Up until he was hurt, Vinny Brim was killing it at tackle, and now we've got Mo and a couple other guys. So I'm really proud of the O-line group. They get better and better every week. And I actually was talking with the Lakeland coach. He said, yeah, it was one area we thought maybe we could try to expose. And he goes, your O-line's a lot better than we thought. And that was a little proud coach moment when he told me that. So defensive line, kind of same thing. We've got some dynamic players. Kyle is definitely, leads the way as a senior, explosive pass rusher. But when you get the Geiken brothers and Michael Hibbler, and now you're even seeing some younger guys like Dante and Nevad, coming off the edge on the other side, it's a tough group to handle.
And confidence as we look ahead now to Eureka, at Eureka, 4 o'clock, a little later start on Saturday afternoon. I can't imagine the confidence being any higher at any point all year than it is right now going on the road.
Yeah, which is good, but can be a trap as well. That was one thing that we talked about on Monday. You can never allow yourself to feel too low and de-incentivize yourself, but you can never allow yourself to be too high either. We've got to have the same approach that we had the last 2 weeks. I think, going into the Rockford game, the hunger, right, to prove to ourselves that we were a better football team than we had seen, it was evident. Every practice was hard. All the film sessions were dialed in. Last week it was like, all right, we want to show that it's repeatable. We can do it again. Lakeland's been kind of a rivalry game. And again, I thought our practice was really, really strong. This week I said, hey, here's the challenge now. Like, you guys have been in situations where you've played well against Eureka before, and we're playing well now. You can fall into a trap real quick that you get comfortable, and we're there now. And Eureka's too good a football team to play that way, and we've worked too hard to not give our best. I'm excited to see how we answer it.
Yeah, and it's a big one in the standings. You're 2-2. They're 1-2 as you all jockey for position, obviously. Before we wrap this up, I haven't asked you this in a couple weeks, so I'll ask you this week. X Factor. X Factor for the Warriors visiting the Red Devils.
I think the X Factor this week will be, you want a player or a scheme? What are you thinking?
What will not give away the biggest secret to the Eureka folks who may watch this?
No, that's okay.
Give us both. You can give me a player and then maybe a stat or a scheme or something like that.
Schematically, what Eureka does defensively is they really rely on certain one-on-one matchups. And so for us, I think it's capitalizing on those matchups when we get it. And we've got some guys that we feel can definitely do that. We'll find out Saturday if that's the case. We have in the past, and that's what I think has led to some of the higher scoring games that we've had before. And then just defensively, they've been a physical, hard-nosed team. So I feel like we've been saying it the last 3 weeks is like, can you stop the run? If you can stop the run, it's going to be a good day for the Warriors, and that'll be the test for us this week. So
okay, on the way out, question for the coach, sports.info@wlc.edu. This one comes from Menominee Falls. Ed in Menominee Falls wants to know, what is the funniest thing that has ever happened to you on a football field. The funniest thing.
Funniest thing.
Yeah. I suppose that could be as a player or a coach or both.
Funniest thing. Oh, man. I don't know if I have a good funny story. I will tell you, I had what didn't happen to me, but one of my fellow coaches almost got hit by a snowplow. That was pretty crazy. As a player,
Wait, hang on. So, can you just give us a little background on
game
that?
snowing.
Okay.
I mean, like super down. Like it's like a blizzard. Like 9 inches from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, and they were plowing the yard lines, the sidelines, because you couldn't see them.
Okay.
And so as they were plowing, they got a little too tight, and we had to get a timeout with the refs and the whole thing. I think I don't have a ton of funny stories as a player. I think the weirdest thing I'll never forget. I was in the top of a pile. I was a back at the time, and it was like forward progress. I'm leaning back, like not a good position. It should have been better than that. But I'm leaning back on the top of the pile like this, and there was a linebacker that came and like punched me right in the face, bloody nose. And from me to the camera guy, Adam, right here, it was like that close to the ref. And I looked at the ref. I'm like, "Did you see that?" And he looked at me. He's like, "You'll be fine."
Oh!
So it was one of those.
It was blood?
Oh yeah. Somehow, like maybe I should have had one of the old school face masks.
Yeah.
We never would have had the problem. But
So he was able to get his fist through the.
It was pretty
wiring
impressive,
of
right?
it.
When you think about like how narrow a face
Yeah.
mask is. Yeah, one of the guys, Germantown High School. I still remember it.
Oh.
Senior year of high school, and they popped me right in the nose. I was bleeding, and it was one of those days.
Would you like to call out the name of the player?
I don't know because I wasn't facing them. I don't know the name of the player.
Wow.
I know it was always an intense battle with Germantown. Those are the games that you definitely worked hard for. So.
All right. I'm now going to head to Germantown's website and look at some past rosters, and we'll find it out. We'll tell you who it is next time. All right, Coach.
Yeah.
Best of skill against the Red Devils.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.